Morning, folks. Welcome aboard. I'll just get Facebook on board and hope that Charlie Cat decides to move. Although he's showing no signs of that at the moment. Right, that's Facebook on board, folks. Good morning. Let's have a wee look and see who's in. Martin the Hibby, Rosie McGregor, Lenny Hughes, Wee Bub, Julie Brown, Peter Morrison, Scott Haynes, Ange. Who else we got? Mark Telford, Jeanette Gofillant, Ted Boy, -11 and sunny. Oof. Chilly. Now let's go back and see any Facebookers in yet. Hi Christina. Stuart. Don't see any Facebookers yet, but hey ho. Numbers are climbing nicely. Hello Neil. Neil McLean that is. As you can see, Charlie Cat's enjoying himself this morning. As have I enjoyed myself this morning. The headlines are quite good. A lot of crap, very easy to debunk. Hi Joan. How's Australia this morning? I think your sister's kicking about here somewhere as well. Hi Diane. Hi Harry. Hey Charlie Cat. Oh, look at this cute wee monster sitting on my lap, folks. Guess we're just going to have to work round about him. Hi Doug, first of the Facebookers in this morning. How are you, Doug? Hi John. Anyway, nearly there, so I suppose we better get this broadcast underway, shall we? Indy Truck Davy out the truck and at home in his office in Salisbury, North Lanarkshire, where it is cloudy, overcast. No, it's alright, 4 degrees. No, there's no rain in the forecast until 1900 hours today, so we're a dry day, dry afternoon, so we'll get plenty done. Anyway, that's the weather here in Salisbury, North Lanarkshire. If you want to know what the weather's like where you are, look at your rain, bloody windy. Morning James, morning George Peddy. Right, first up this morning is the Daily Fail. Now, the Daily Fail this morning and the Daily Express, the two English right-wing loony rags that are published in Scotland, they both go on culture wars again as they try to introduce the right-wing nonsense to Scotland. Now, they've tried it with the Muslim thing, but we don't buy that religious crap up here. We only have two types of people, good guys and wankers. So, here we go. We'll put up a few. SNP cowardice over trans row. Ministers accused of evading scrutiny over single-sex spaces after rejecting calls for statement in wake of NHS nurse tribunal. SNP ministers have been accused of cowardice after dodging scrutiny on their single-sex space shambles. Well, what's interesting about that headline, folks, is it isn't a SNP or Scottish Government mess, you know. And how do we know that? Because it's a reserved matter. Equality legislation is reserved, as we found out when Alistair Union Jackboots stomped all over the Scottish Parliament's Gender Recognition Act with the Section 35 order. Equality legislation, equality in the workplace, equality overall is reserved. So it isn't a Scottish Government mess. Okay, Now, they say it's a reserved matter, and that wee shite Ian Murray in Westminster are responsible for this. So why should the Scottish Government issue a statement on what is really an employment tribunal and workers' rights are also reserved? Why should the Scottish Government come and make a statement on reserved matters and a reserved mess? It's up to Westminster to issue guidance to public workplaces on equality, diversity and inclusivity in the workplace. Nothing to do with Holyrood whatsoever. So Scottish ministers being accused of cowardice. This is pure comedy fucking gold. Absolute comedy gold. But as I said, they can't divide us on the religion thing for the Muslim people. So now they're going after gender. Next up, we have the loony rag, The Express, the other English rag published here in Scotland. And its headline is just as fucking loopy as the one we had in the Mail. Well, it appears I don't have it, so I'll just read it to you. The other English right-wing loony rag, published in Scotland, The Express, it's on the gender nonsense as well. It calls for Holyrood's statement on public sector single-sex spaces rejected. Tories who vetoed Scotland's GRA are accusing Scottish ministers of cowardice, moral cowardice on this issue. Well, as I've explained, and when you think about it yourself, you will know that what I'm saying to you is true. The Equalities Act is reserved. And workers' rights are reserved. So this whole story is a reserved story. But why are these two English rags, right-wing English rags, published in Scotland, following these stunts? Divide and rule. Divide and rule. That's why they're following these stunts. Even though the whole story and the premise of the story is based on nonsense and nothing to do with the Scottish people or the Scottish Government. And the GRA, by the way, which was vetoed because it would impinge on the Equalities Act, it had nothing to do with equality. That was just to make people who are in the position of transgendering, make it easier for them to get recognised. That's all it was. Make it easier for them to access medical services, or that sort of thing, mental health services. But they made it easier for them. But nothing to do with workers' rights and nothing to do with equality of work. They're reserved. Okay, let's move on. The rancid record goes on. Sarwar ticket pledge. Another pledge from Sarwar. Brilliant. We do like a good pledge from the liar. Right. Fun's chat. I wonder if you're free on the 2nd of September. Bojo is doing a talk in the Usher Halls. I've seen that, Alistair. Andrew was talking about it. They were wondering whether they would show up in the fridge. I'll borrow a fridge for the co-op, go pick them up in London, stick it on freeze, and we'll see how he's doing when we get to Edinburgh. Okay. Right, where were we? Aye. Another pledge for Sarwar. He's pledging to day away with. Good morning, Reagan Elite. Somebody stick a link to Reagan's channel on, please. Enjoyed your show the other night, even though you're still a wee bit hoarse, son. Right, anyway. Sarwar's pledging to day away with peak time rail fares in Scotland. Now, as we know, Sarwar's pledges are like piss in the wind. A lot of puff of smoke in the wind. They don't mean nothing. But you don't have to believe Davy on this. You can go and ask the WASPy women. The parents who are suffering because of and the children who are suffering because of the 2-child benefit cap. You can go and ask the Grangemouth workers. if Sarwar's pledges are worth anything more than a puff of smoke in the wind, or pushing into the wind. So Sarwar is trying to offer something that the Scottish Government's already had in place, but had to remove because it cuts for Westminster. What a fucking spanner. Anybody believes that twat own anything, they need a quick trip to the hospital to get their mental health checked out. Right, next up we've got the Herald. Now this one's a cracker. It really is a cracker. I enjoyed this one. And I'll explain to you why as I read the headlines to you. Ministers approve huge bonuses at Scottish Water. Huge bonuses? Well, they are huge actually. 1.6 million between five of them at 329,000 a pop. But the interesting thing about that is we have good managers or executives at the tap of Scottish Water. Scottish Water's in public hands. The waterways are clean, and what comes out the tap is world class. But why do we have to pay them these big bonuses? Well, I'll tell you why. Because if we didn't, they would go here. Let me pop this one up for you. If they didn't, they would go here. English water bosses in England and Wales get 2 to 3 times as much in bonuses as Scottish water executives, despite higher costs for dirty water. Now, this was put together by Professor John Robertson. As you'll know, we're all our friend, Professor John Robertson, who scrutinised the BBC during the referendum and ended up in the Scottish Parliament in front of a select committee because of it. And then went on to set up Talking Up Scotland. He was also sacked for his university, I do believe, and he wasn't given the title Emeritus Professor at the end of it, even though he did a very, very distinguished career. Right, anyway, that's why we have to pay them these big bonuses, folks, because if we don't, they'll fuck off to England and Wales, where they will get better basic wage or salary, whatever you want to call it, and they get bigger bonuses. So I have no complaints with the bosses at Scottish Water getting a decent bonus because it is a minuscule amount compared to what they could earn if they buggered off out of the border. And as our water system is in public hands and being run extremely well, if you look at the investment in Glasgow at the moment, and the investment there has been in North Lanarkshire with the sewer systems and things like that, Scottish Water are doing very well. And to have top class executives running Scottish Water, you have to pay them well. Simple as that. These are the facts. So these guys get a £329,000 bonus in top of their salaries. Well, I'm afraid that's the cost of keeping these guys in their positions. If we want the best, we have to pay. And as we know, we have the best because we have the cleanest waterways, we have the cleanest, freshest water on the fucking planet coming out the taps. And I still see loan balls buying plastic bottles. Because when you get right down to it, you're not buying the water. It's free. You're buying a plastic bottle. Just buy a refillable one. You've got a tap, same as the rest of us. Save yourself a few quid. Not jobs. Right, the Scotsman has public services crumbling ahead of 10% tax hike. Union chiefs in call for review of local funding. What's interesting about that is union chiefs, this is your annual call for a review of local services funding. The thing about local services funding is that we go back to Alex Salmond's first term when he wanted to do away with the council tax and bring in a land tax or something along those lines. That was all part of a review of local government funding from central government. But the cuckoos in the nest didn't want divergence. They want Scotland to be a mini copy of England. So when it came to try to replace the council tax, when it came to try to review local government funding, the cuckoos in the nest in Holyrood, that's the English parties that sit in Holyrood, were having none of it, and the SNP were a minority. The other thing about it is we went forward with the annual call for reviews of local government funding, which is an annual call. Every time we come up with how much the council tax is going to go up, we get the same nonsense every bloody year. But no juice would we have the cuckoos in the nest kibosh any legislation to reform local government funding. We also have the problem of the two independence parties along here not being able to agree on what type of land tax to apply, as opposed to a council tax. So as I say, since Alex Salmond had his first minority administration in 2007 to now, we've had an annual call by unions for a review of local government funding. They've never fucking went anywhere. I don't know how many consultations I've taken part in, and it's never went anywhere. So they can make their annual call for a review of local government funding if they want, trade unions. When it gets to Holyrood, the cuckoos in the nest will kibosh whatever the other two parties put on the table. End of story. Right, let's move on. What have we got now? The scum has cons free to moan. Whale time. Dozens released from jail early. They whine about the system. So apparently prisoners coming out of prison are complaining about prison. Who cares? Who cares? The only interesting thing about this is the way the BBC and the MSM have handled this. They have handled it with kid gloves and haven't went after the Scottish Government on it. The loony rags the Express and the Mail have. But they think we're all too stupid to know that they're doing the exact same thing in England and Wales for the exact same reason. So, this notion, outrage and all this shite that's been trying to stir up with the Mail and the Express on all sorts of issues, it's all crap. But on this one, the mainstream media have went very light. They've tippy-tapped around it. They've supported it. Why? Because they're doing it next door. Right, yeah. So, that was the scum. Right, what's the Times got for us today? Shall we have a look? The Times has, university still has issues with English snobs, admits principal. I'm not sure what university. Did they bother Mars looking? And typhoons may help to keep peace in Ukraine. Aye, they might. They might well, if we had any to fucking spare. The Royal Air Force has got 564 fixed-wing airplanes, 137 Eurofighter Typhoons, and they have 34 Lockheed Martin F-35s. That's it when it comes to fighter jets. 160 of them. Now the UK's got a massive coastline. 160 fighter jets just ain't going to cut it. So we don't have them to spare Ukraine. The other aircraft, they make up transport aircraft. I mean, transporting people and goods. They are bombers, and they are reconnaissance aircraft. The rest, that's what the rest are made up of. But when it comes to fighting capabilities, when it comes to fighter jets, we only have 171. or 173 in total. We don't have aircraft to be able to fucking get to Ukraine. We just don't have them. If the UK armed forces are to fulfil their minimum duties of protecting us on this island, we don't have aircraft to spare. Simple as that. And apparently the Pope's got pneumonia in both lungs, according to the other one there. So, aye, typhoons might help keep peace in Ukraine. There's no half kingdom. If we give them, these islands will be in danger. So, right, talking about this stuff if you've got a big military. Next up, we have the Telegraph. I think I might have it. Let's have a look. Yep. Zelensky could fall as price of peace. And apparently, if I blow this up, come down, and at the other side there, apparently Starmer's in row with most senior judges over migrants. And business secretary going to be solicitor but never qualified. Oh, they're a fucking surprise, huh? Rachel for accounts claims to be an economist. Turns out she was a fucking customer services officer. And now we'll get the business secretary. Jonathan Reynolds claiming to be a solicitor but never qualified. So tell fucking Porky Pies as a part of the course now for the Red Tories. Carbon copy of the Blue Tories. Shocker. But Zelensky apparently wanted the price of peace, or part of the price of peace, would be to get rid of Zelensky. Wonderful. Right, the National. What's the National vote for us today? Shall we put it up? Let's look. National. Right. The National's got consumers being gaslit as energy bills set to rise again. And it says that Labour and Miliband can't be allowed to pass the buck. Now, if I remember right, one of Keir Starmer's election pledges was to bring down electricity bills by £300. So far, they went up by about 170 since he came to power. And what he's talking about is building nuclear power stations to bring it down by £300 in 2030. In 2030. Fucking no real. Now, the main headline in the National today is Council is urged to act over Peterson show. Explanation being demanded on why plug has not been pulled on controversial right-wingers tour date at the Hydro in Glasgow. Okay, for the stupid, let me explain why Glasgow City Council hasn't intervened and hasn't pulled the plug on it. Because to do so would be an outrage and we would be ripped to bits by the press. Because last time I looked, we still have freedom of speech and freedom of expression. We might not like what this right-wing lunatic has to say, but unfortunately, he has the right to say it. We don't have to agree with him, but he has the right to say it. Don't suppose many people in Scotland will turn up to see this fucking nutter. And the ones that will turn up to see him, well, they're well gone anyway. They're already knuckle draggers. But hey ho. This one here at the side's interesting. UK government challenged to match 25 million Just Transition Fund for Grangemouth I thought the UK government had promised 100 million and they haven't come up with a fucking penny. Anyway, apparently universities will have a key role in developing first robotarium in the Middle East. Very good. But Westminster stomp up money for Grangemouth. They're asset stripping fucking Scotland. They're not about to invest in Scotland. Right, so that's a national fight. Let's move on. The Metro has. Latest early release scheme gets underway. Main headline, crowded out. First of 390 prisoners to be freed walk out over full jails. They make it sound like they're going on fucking strike. They walk out over full jails. You'd think it was an industrial dispute. Prisoners are out on strike because the jail's full. I love that one in the Metro. That's nearly as good as the Star. The one, the Star's good this morning. Yeah, okay. Brilliant. I love that one. The Metro portrays it as if the fucking prisoners are coming out and strike. Oh, lovely jubbly. Right. The eye has, I'll put the eye up because, once again, that's got another interesting headline on it. Here we go. UK, oh, make this bigger. UK on collision course with Russia over peacekeeping troops in Ukraine. Russian Foreign Minister warns that the Kremlin would not accept Western troops policing a peace deal in Ukraine. Shocker. Anyway, this stuff's all premature. There isn't a peace deal as yet. The Ukrainian people say there won't be a peace deal if they're not at the table. Trump met with Putin yesterday and knew they're a way to put together teams to talk to each other about Ukraine, but no with Ukraine. All very interesting stuff. But UK on collision course. I've just spoken about the size of the Air Force. And we've named missile defence a programme here. So, we better not be in a collision course with Russia. Because if we are, you can tuck your head between your legs and kiss your ass goodbye. Simple as that. So let's hope we're not on a collision course with Russia. Now, folks, although the Metro's already given us a laugh today with the way it's portrayed the early release scheme for prisons, let's see what the Star's got for us today, shall we? Alistair, may as well tell you, no boffins, my friend. Ah well. The Star, what's the Star got for us today? 60% of workers change into their PJs the second they walk through the door. Generation Jim Jams. You know something? I can verify that. My wife will get in for work at 2 o'clock this afternoon, and by 2:30 she'll be stoating about here in her fucking pink or blue onesie or her pyjamas. Mind-boggling to me. Absolutely mind-boggling to me. But absolutely nuts. But it's true. Sarah will come in for work, get out her work clothes, and straight into her Jim Jams or into her pink or blue onesie. So aye, the Star's actually the Star's probably right on this one about the amount of people who do it. The amount of people I've seen in my village walking to their show, in their Jim Jams, in their slippers, in their house coats. Oh. In the middle of the winter tea. And here's these wee women stoating along to get the milk and paper in their jammies. I've even seen them standing at the bus stop putting the kids on the school bus in their pyjamas. So, the Star's probably quite a sensible Headline today, which better not make a habit of. Geez, bring back the boffins. That's what I say. Don't want the start making sense. I just wouldn't do. Yeah, yeah. No, we definitely. Apparently, all the women in the comments are definitely agreeing about the PJs. So, Generation Jim Jams it is. Right, that's what I've got for you today, folks. I hope you found it interesting. I hope you found it informative. And remember, when you see the headlines in the Express and in the Daily Fail, if you see other people's work looking at them, engage with them. Explain to them why this is a bollock story. Made up, contrived nonsense. Okay, you guys have a nice day. I'll away and schedule tomorrow's programme. Lucky yous, you get a double dose of tomorrow. You get me in the morning and you get me in the other one in the afternoon. Should be fun. See you then. Have a nice day. Look after each other. Hit the like button, please, folks. It makes a difference to the algorithm. Although our viewing figures are up, audiences, watch hours is up, 2,000 returning viewers and 2,800 specific viewers who return. We're doing well. But hit the like button, folks. And share if you want. I'll wait and schedule tomorrow's show. Bye for now.